By the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Thanks for rejoining us on Nationwide. And Nationwide continues with an update on the deployment of more grains to Kano by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. Let's now join our correspondent, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu in Kano.
Trailer loads of the federal government grains continues to arrive Kano State in meeting up with the deadline of delivering 110 trucks this week, as promised by the Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Mehaja. Although the total number of trucks expected to be delivered in Kano are more than 300. Out of the 110 trucks expected to be delivered this week, 52 are already on ground and are being offloaded. The breakdown of the total delivery shows that 100 trailer loads of millet, 110 trucks of maize and sorghum are expected to be delivered in Kano. I spoke earlier with the Executive Secretary, Kano State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Saleh Aliyu, on the mechanism put in place to ensure immediate distribution of the items to the actual beneficiaries. And these were his words.
So, in order to not make it as a political committee, so a district head at the local government is the head of that committee, followed by imam or pastor who will assist him. And then at the ward level, a ward head is also being the chairman, followed by the imam or pastor at that level to deputize for him. Other security agencies, both at the local government, at the state level, at the ward level, were members. At the same time, you find that all the community-based organizations in that locality are members. This is built to ensure that the right people are being selected to get this gesture by the Kano State government and now by the federal government.
From Kano, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Ilyasu. We now join Mitari Ikpen to let us in on some salient issues on today's briefing by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Mitari, it's over to you.
Okay, thank you, Ifoma. Today, the Presidential Task Force felicitated with Nigerian workers on the occasion of the May Day celebration. And it says it appreciates the sacrifices, especially of essential workers who are in the front line in the fight and the battle against the coronavirus. And also the Presidential Task Force says that it is committed to providing personal protective equipment for all essential workers in a bid to ensure that they are well protected as they are in the front line in the fight against coronavirus. Also today, the chairman of the Presidential Task Force, Boss Mustafa, challenged Nigerian scientists and researchers to join the myriads of projects going on to develop vaccine for the coronavirus. And the WHO representative in the Presidential Task Force told us today that 89 vaccine development projects are going on around the world and being supervised by the WHO to come up with a vaccine for the coronavirus. So those are some of the highlights that came up at the briefing today.
Thank you very much, Mitari, for the highlights. And let's move to Owerri now, where the collapsed 80-story building under construction has left residents of the Imo State capital in shock, as most of the workers are believed to be trapped under the rubble. Kubuike Chukwu, who visited the scene of the incident, reports that rescue efforts are still ongoing.
The 8-story building, which was under construction, is located on Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Drive, Owerri, the Imo State capital. Information from eyewitnesses shows that the unfortunate incident occurred about 4 o'clock in the evening, Thursday, April 30th. while construction workers whose actual number could not be readily ascertained due to conflicting figures given by different individuals were still busy in the building. Some of them who were still in shock after the incident declined comments on camera. Few of them told NTA News that many people were working in the building when the incident occurred.
The ground started shaking. We thought if it was this container tanker that do pass along, that is to jump gallop. So unknowingly to us, we look at this hotel. It didn't start from back there and start falling down. So in the process of falling down, we started shouting. Then the front of this hotel just fall down. Immediately we ran into the hotel and started saving people. In fact, as I'm talking to even there are some boys under this hotel now that this thing fall on top, and there are some that we brought out alive up there. They took those on to the hospital.
Members of the medical team who declined press interview confirmed that many workers are believed to be trapped in the collapsed building. 11 persons have been rescued, while one death has so far been recorded. As at the time of filing this report, rescue effort by the Nigerian Red Cross Society and the Imo State government was ongoing. No concrete reason has, however, been given as the cause of the building collapse. In Owerri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Chairman Council of Registered Engineers in Nigeria, Imo State, Venetius Igiri, says the owners of the collapsed building did not get authorization for such construction, stressing that necessary steps will be taken to ascertain the cause of the collapse.
A number of dates can cause that.
We sincerely apologize for the poor audio in that report. And Lagos is where we go now, and Dotun is ready to guide us with reports from there. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Ifoma. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has taken delivery of tons of food items from the Nigeria Customs Service for onward transmission to low-income earners who may be going through a hard time during the COVID-19 lockdown. Abolore Ogbara reports that the consignment is part of goods seized by the Customs Service.
The federal government has expressed its readiness to expand the social register for distribution of food and other important items during the lockdown order. Against this backdrop, the controller, Nigerian Customs Service, Western Marine Command, Peter Olugboyega, presented 720 bags of rice, 297 bales of used clothing, and 11 sacks of used shoes to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
I do hereby hand over these items to the representative of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, who was represented, said the items will be distributed across some states of the Federation in furtherance of government's determination to make Nigerians comfortable at a desperate time like this.
All states are taking 3 trucks of rice, that is 1,800 bags of 50 kg rice, to ensure that we bring succor to them at this point in time of COVID-19 worldwide saga.
This is the third batch of items from the Customs Service to the ministry. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
Posters who paraded themselves as army personnel in Lagos have been apprehended and presented for prosecution by the 81 Division of the Nigerian Army. Olumide Ogutola reports that 31 suspects have so far been arrested for the crime.
At different areas in Lagos during the Operation Checkmate conducted by 81 Division Nigerian Army Cantonment, these suspects were nabbed for offences ranging from unauthorized use of army camouflage to escort contraband rice, molestation and harassment of civilians, extortions and unlawful possession of genuine Nigerian Army identity cards. These 2 namesakes, for instance, are dismissed officers and as civilians are to face the wrath of the law for making portraits of themselves with army uniforms.
somebody somewhere just suggests there is this picture that looks like you. Let me bring it for you. That was how I saw the edited picture. But stupidly, I collected it and hung it in the house for the fact that the Omonile will not come near me.
I bought it from Abuja Barak. So at times I used to use it to escort motor to Kumbo at times.
The General Officer Commanding 81 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Olubumi Irifin, told journalists that the Operation Checkmate is yielding the desired results.
All these arrests you are seeing based on information and the Operation Checkmate that is currently ongoing. And we will continue to do this operation until we clean Lagos and its environment of this kind of hooligans.
Major General Irifin advised Nigerians to always notify the army of useful information that will assist them in apprehending criminals in the society. In Lagos, Olumide Kutola, NT News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ifeoma in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Dotun, we now take some messages. Nationwide continues shortly.
I wish to once again commend the frontline workers across the country who, on a daily basis, risk everything to ensure we win this fight. For those who got infected in the line of duty, rest assured that government will do all it takes to support you and your families during this exceedingly difficult period. I will also take this opportunity to assure you all that your safety, well-being, and welfare remains paramount to our government. I am using this opportunity to express our deepest condolences to the families of all Nigerians that have lost their loved ones as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is our collective loss, and we share your grief.
The board, management and staff of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, felicitate with all Nigerian workers on the 2020 Workers' Day celebrations. We particularly acknowledge the dedication of the frontline workers who are the heroes and heroines in the war against the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic. As we join millions of other Nigerians in solidarity with you, we reaffirm our commitment to the promotion of a safe work environment for all patriots working to build our great nation. We will surely overcome. Stay safe, stay alive. Happy Workers' Day, NSITF, a commitment to employees' welfare. Management Announcer.
Shegun. How far say tomorrow still day on?
What's your tomorrow?
Community meeting now.
You know they here, Abi?
Na beg. See, if we meet for my house, inside parlor, then go no.
This COVID-19 is not a child's play.
If you want to elect a new secretary, we fit
do one for WhatsApp or for Skype or even on Zoom. Or we just wait.
I will not negotiate
this social distancing. It is not negotiable.
Not every infected person shows symptoms, but every infected person is contagious. Avoid large gatherings and self-isolate if you think you might have come in contact with a carrier. Your safety and the safety of others is in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Wetin be this coronavirus thing? Na true?
You see this coronavirus wey be COVID-19. Na the whole world palava and e don dey kill many people for China, Italy, UK, US, Spain, and even for other countries dem.
Okay, wetin come be the reason wey dem say make everybody tanda for house?
Na because if e dey waka pium go carry am from person wey don get am, you go carry come give your family dem. Na so the thing take dey kill other people for other countries.
Okay, wetin come be that social distancing sef?
You see social distance. Now make we no come close because this thing now from air and touch now with the contact. We suppose dey at least 6 foot away from each other every time.
So okay, no be only to wash your hand and to sanitize them alone.
Make we no take this motion of hunting take place, but make we come together, join hand as we take pursue Ebola, pursue this coronavirus. Make we be each other keepers now.
Thanks for staying with us. Ibadan is our next port of call, and Kemi, is your turn on Nationwide.
Thank you, Ifoma, and welcome to Ibadan. Oyo State government has hinted on its desire to make commercial agriculture the backbone of the state's economy. Governor Seyi Makinde made this known during a visit to some of the farms within the state. Dayo Ogunshola has details.
Exploring the full potential of agriculture to boost the state's economy is among the 4 cardinal points of Governor Seyi Makinde's administration. Therefore, to walk the talk, Governor Makinde was at Akufo Farm Settlement for on-the-spot assessment of the facility. Delighted by what he met on ground, Governor Makinde said the facility will be upgraded to a farm estate aimed at exploring the comparative advantage of Oyo State in the agricultural sector.
Came to find out firsthand, what is really happening and how can we best support them so that they can, in turn, contribute meaningfully to the economy of Oyo State.
Presently, the farm settlement is being used by a private farm specializing in the production of tomato and pepper through greenhouse farming approach. In Ibadan, Dayo Ogunshola, NTA News.
Non-essential interstate travelers will have to stop until further notice, as the Oyo State monitoring team has stepped up to its operation to ensure strict compliance with the interstate movement ban, which is geared towards containing the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Correspondent Tope Alabi has details.
Oyo State is surrounded by 5 states: Ogun, Ondo, Ekiti, Kwara, and Oyo states. Of all the borders, Ashejire remains a strategic gateway to many parts of the country, and this informed the volume of human and vehicular traffic. Aware of the challenge of community transmission of COVID-19, Governor Gboyega Oyetola had appealed to security agencies to step up enforcement of the ban on interstate travels.
When lorries they claim to be bringing in foodstuff, we realize that most times, particularly at night, they transport passengers.
With the restrictions on interstate movements as agreed by the Governors Forum and directed by the President in his national broadcast, some commuters not on essential services have continued to flagrantly defy the order. In view of this recalcitrant nature of some transporters, security agencies have refused to allow unauthorized entry to Oyo State, especially from the Ashejire axis.
My daughter is sick and she's in hospital in Ife. That's why I was traveling.
I have to go and search for my means of livelihood.
Except for vehicles or travelers on essential duties and those with permit, others were being turned back from the Ashejire point here, where the Oyo State border is located. From Ashejire, Tope Alabi, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues after this time out. Stay with us.
The first month of Ramadan is here again, and we at Al-Habibiyah Islamic Society once again call on all faithful to observe the physical and social distancing directive of the government to curb the spread of COVID-19. Always wash your hands with soap and water, use hand sanitizers and face masks when necessary, and stay at home. Observe your obligatory salat, tarawih, tahajjud, du'as, and askars with your families from the comfort of your home. Stay at home, stay safe, stop the spread of COVID-19. This message is from Al-Habibiyah Islamic Society, from Allah to you, a light.
Hello everyone, hope you are keeping safe by washing your hands with soap or using sanitizer. Stay at home, it's the responsible thing to do, and whilst you're at it, you can do anything to keep your body and your mind together. Grow a beard like me if you want to, but please, let's stay at home. It's the responsible thing to do.
immune system increases the chances of victims surviving COVID-19. A corruption-free society creates opportunities for citizens to thrive and prosper. Build your immunity. Stop corruption now. Report all acts of corruption to ICPC on this toll-free number 0800 2255 4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, under the leadership of its President General, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, CFR MNI, congratulates the Muslim Ummah on the commencement of the fasting of the month of Ramadan, beseeching Allah to grant us the blessings of the month and to inscribe us among the inhabitants of Al-Jannah. The Council has directed the suspension of congregational Taraweeh prayers, Majalis al-Tafsir, Quranic sessions, and i'tikaf seclusion in the mosques during the month of Ramadan. Islamic scholars and organizations are to employ the electronic media for dissemination of tafsir and other da'wah activities. Janazah, washing, shrouding, prayer and burial of Muslim victims are to be carried out by officials of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, and other government health officials. Detailed guidelines on the suspension and the janazah are available on the Council's website and are being published in national dailies and sent to the federal and state governments as well as leadership of state councils and various Islamic organizations. The Quran says, "Make not your own hands contribute to your destruction." His Eminence the Sultan praised the Almighty Allah to preserve our lives beyond the Ramadan and grant us its blessings. Mr. Yusuf Nwoha, Director Administration, Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, announcer.
You're welcome back. Suleiman in Kaduna is standing by for more contributions on Nationwide.
And welcome to Kaduna. Like every other socio-economic and political concerns of the populace, the fate of the annual commemoration of this year's May Day has equally been altered by the coronavirus pandemic that has redefined the rule of engagement in all facets of life. Majama Adamu in this report takes a look at Workers' Day amidst the imperative of social distancing.
It is a May Day unlike any other such day in the last 4 decades. It is a May Day whose characteristic euphoria and assertive anthem of solidarity have been silenced by a global pandemic that has put to test the might of the worker as an agent of human survival and progress.
This is the first time that we couldn't have rallies, we couldn't have marches, we couldn't have open manifestations to celebrate the May Day.
Beyond the spectre of deserted streets and work institutions under lock and key lies the thriving spirit of the workers. Many of them at the forefront of the battle against the pandemic. Workers, unrelenting and undoubted as they give their whole as a sacrifice to fatherland.
This has posed a serious challenge on the part of the workers, taking into cognizance of the fact that we lack the basic necessary protections for the workers. And I want to salute Nigerian workers today for coming out from their heart. They couldn't be outside, but to show that labor is an important factor of national development.
As the Nigerian workers collaborate with the government and other patriotic stakeholders to salvage the country from the socio-economic ruins propelled by this pandemic, their hope is to put behind this tall tale of tragedy so that when next they commemorate May Day, they would have recouped their silenced voice and together sing the anthem of solidarity forever. In Kaduna, Majama Adamu, NTA News.
There are indications that exchange of currency from one hand to another could transmit COVID-19. It is on the heels of this that Abdullah Muhammad examines daily transaction of an array of individuals using cash and the risk involved.
The proponent of a cashless society may have some things in common with Nicodemus, the man who is said to have seen tomorrow. Not only that their initiative has saved the global community billions in the cost of printing and management of currencies, but also defended billions of people across the world from the risk associated with infected notes.
A look at this 500 naira bill shows a lot of security inscriptions and features. Its serial number, the date that this currency was printed. But what is missing on this 500 naira bill is the list of people that must have come in contact with it, especially those that must have contracted the deadly coronavirus.
All the noise about the naira bill being one of the means of spreading COVID-19 could pass for speculation if it is not coming from a reliable source. And as part of my mandate to get to the root of these speculations and unveil the reality, I asked one of those in the forefront of the fight against the dreaded coronavirus to put the record straight.
The World Health Organization recently passed a statement as regards to that, in that they implied that in some certain cases, COVID-19 can be transmitted through banknotes. But so far, there has not been a verifiable research to confirm that viruses can be transmitted through the banknotes.
Though many Nigerians have come to terms with how to stay safe from the ravaging effect of COVID-19, majority of those involved in the exchange of currencies have continued to do so without any form of protection.
We have nothing to do about it, but sometimes they say if you put the money in the sun, that the virus will die.
Money is very necessary at this point in time.
Reports suggest that China and Korea had, in their fight against COVID-19, disinfected and isolated dirty bank notes using ultraviolet light to sterilize the notes. If this is one of the measures that helped the Chinese and Koreans, then it is a venture that is worth the while. In Kaduna, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTN News.
And with that report, Ifoma will continue with Nationwide in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Suleiman. Women as caregivers are now benefiting from the consignment of palliatives received by the Minister of Women Affairs from the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. Different women groups from across Abuja received items worth millions of naira for onward distribution to the needy. Momso Damien Dati reports.
These are leaders of women groups trooping to this collection center. The women have found their voices again to sing the International Women's Song after being muted for many weeks by COVID-19. This time, however, they are not demanding for equal rights, but to show gratitude and appreciation for bags of variety of food items, hand sanitizers, face masks, hand gloves, and other medical items donated by Mrs. Aisha Buhari and are here being distributed by the Women Minister.
The wife of the president is simply showing us her concern as a mother. You as leaders, most of you can afford to feed yourselves. Most of you can even extend and help your neighbors. I beg you in the name of God, ensure that all that has been given to you as leaders reaches those in need in your organization.
For the women representatives, there is no better time than now.
The unexpected have been sending messages of desperation, fear.
On behalf of the masses, on behalf of the grassroots, we are saying thank you very much.
That inshallah, all what she has given to us, to the less privileged, we get to them.
Always been praying so that this COVID will be out of our country, Nigeria.
Each group knows their women and they know those that will be in their need of this.
And it shows the trust building between Nigerian women and government.
Having taken delivery here, louder songs are expected when they hand over the items to the most vulnerable in their communities and groups. In Abuja, Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
In the meantime, residents around the nation's capital, Abuja, especially the less privileged, have continued to enjoy support in form of palliative to cushion the effect of the lockdown. Senior Special Assistant to the President, President Muhammadu Buhari on Student Affairs, Nasir Saidu, led a group of Nigerian youth task force on COVID-19 to distribute relief materials. The distribution of food items and other relief materials was held at Dakwa and Pape satellite communities in the Federal Capital Territory.
And we are very happy for this kind gesture showed by good Nigerians. This is the things we have been calling, let be our brothers keepers at all levels, because government cannot do it alone. We have to show our concern to our brothers and our relatives.
And we're trying to do that to support the federal government initiative in seeing how to cushion and bring ease to many Nigerians that are suffering from this lockdown. Where we are here, and there are so many places that we are going. It's not only palliative we are distributing. It's a group of young doctors. We have doctors that are going around the houses one by one and see if there's any patient that they will give him support or her support, and see how we can ease the health system in Nigeria.
The group appealed to Nigerians to support the measures put in place by the Presidential Task Force and the FCT Experts Committee as a way of curbing the spread of the coronavirus. And Ekiti State has joined the League of Beneficiaries of Motorized Fumigators, courtesy of the Oni of Ife, Oba Enitong Adeyeye Ogunwusi. Kola Adeboboyi quotes Governor Kayode Fayemi as saying the gesture of the monarch will assist in checking the spread of COVID-19 in the state.
The Fumigators, an initiative of House of Oduduwa Machine Tools, was designed by the Oni of Ife in promoting homegrown efforts at combating coronavirus in the country. Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi noted that the fight against coronavirus must not be left for government alone, but require collective efforts of every concerned citizen, hence the step to complement other veritable efforts to stop the ravaging COVID-19 with the provision of the motorized modular fumigators.
We cannot just hold our hands. We have to propose solutions. We have to look at ways and manners things can be better for all our subjects. We don't need to lead our leaders. We don't need to lead them.
Governor Kayode Fayemi commended the Oni of Ife for the giant stride towards saving the country, especially Ekiti State, in combating the spread of coronavirus.
We are grateful to you for always, at all times, having us in mind. Anything that has to do with progress, that has to do with development, that has to do with our community, you are as you.
The fumigators stakeholders believe we go a long way in disinfecting streets of Ekiti State from the coronavirus disease. In Ado Ekiti, Kola Adeboboyi, NT News.
Purposeful surveillance at the boundaries of River State in Opobo Kingdom has become imperative to enhance the efficiency of the interstate lockdown. Chairman River State Traditional Rulers Council, King Dadinson Jaja Jeki V, said this in an exclusive chat with correspondent Amizi Igebo.
The high-level sensitization in the serene town of Opobo on COVID-19, a disease with no known cure, is palpable. Some billboards at strategic locations within the kingdom signposted the reality of the infamous pandemic.
We have been trying, following government directives, to sensitize our people by sending out town criers to go around and tell the people that they require the observance of certain rules of hygiene. Recently, government sent 5 truckloads of food to Obobo Nkoro local government, and it's been quite sufficient. People are very grateful.
King Dadinson Jaja Jeki V is, however, concerned about the porous nature of some boundary communities.
But for instance, the whole of under the Opobo axis, we don't seem to have any of such things. People come in from Akwa Ibom through Ottawa here. They can come into Opobo and from there to Port Harcourt.
The royal father, who recently turned 87, is religiously taking the lead in adopting the precautionary measures to stay safe.
Ameze Igiebo, NTA News.
The judiciary is also feeling the negative effects of the lockdown occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic, with many court cases earlier slated for hearing being adjourned while the courts observe the lockdown. Olabode Arewa in this report examines the prospect of using technology to conduct virtual court proceedings in Nigeria.
In the wake of the outbreak of COVID-19, courts in the country shut down due to reasons of social distancing, with a few courts conducting proceedings on the cases that are time-bound. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Kishaye George, believes the time has come for judicial proceedings to be conducted using the virtual format. He said the National Judicial Council had led the way with its recent national meeting, which was conducted without face-to-face contact.
Virtual court is the way to go. As we start to implement it, you will see that we'll perfect it, we'll fine-tune it. And then it's going to save us a lot of money. Building of courtrooms, traveling. Sometimes lawyers travel all the way from Lagos. They come to Abuja, the case is not going on. But now, if everything is done electronically, we'll be more conscious of time.
Another senior advocate of Nigeria, Joe Kiari Gazama, observed that if adopted in full, conducting of proceedings using technology was in everyone's best interest.
We must be up and doing in terms of virtual sitting. We said a time without number in the past that courts should fix cases according to time. You fix my case maybe 9 o'clock, another case maybe 11, another 12, another 1. That is what is being done everywhere if it is physical hearing. Now with this challenge of COVID-19, I think we must go back to the drawing board and see how we can rapidly catch up with what is the practice, what is the tradition, what is the norm in other established jurisdictions.
When the courts resume sitting after the coronavirus pandemic ends, they will have a plethora of outstanding cases to attend to. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The Armed Forces of Nigeria says it has neutralized some Boko Haram terrorists and destroyed some of their logistics facilities at Parisu in the Sambisa Forest area of Borno State. A statement by the Coordinator, Directorate of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, indicates that this was achieved in airstrikes conducted by the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole on 30th April 2020 after surveillance missions confirmed significant terrorist activities in the area whilst identifying some compounds housing the fighters and their logistics. The Air Task Force then dispatched NAV fighter jets to attack the location, scoring accurate bomb and rocket strikes, resulting in the destruction of some of the structures as well as the killing of several terrorists, as seen in a now declassified video clip. The Armed Forces of Nigeria says it will continue to sustain the offensive against the enemies of our country until peace and normalcy are restored in all parts of Nigeria. And with that, we conclude Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. Remember to always stay safe.